Welcome to the September program. Tonight's program is being presented by Streamline Automotive and the Keller Country Countertop Company. The theme that we're using is Appreciating Local Enterprise. We're glad to be here, at least we think we are, and we're glad to have all of you here. Especially we're glad for Uncle Roland to be here, for Uncle Fred, Uncle Joe, Uncle Bill, for each and all of you. We'll open with prayer, and then we'll have our first song, Hail to the Pioneers.
Our dear, kind, gracious Heavenly Father, we bow our heads before you at the opening of this program tonight. We ask your blessings and protection to be with us, and your Spirit to attend us. We're thankful especially for our prophet, for his well-being, for the opportunity we have to have him in our presence. Now we thank you for the businesses we have in our community, and we thank you at this time for the opportunity we have to meet together to acknowledge them. Pray that you'll bless the performers to do well, and bless the audience to be supportive and to be able to receive a delightsome entertainment tonight. We pray for these things and thank you for all we have and are. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
I suppose it's the same with any group or every group each month. When we sit together to decide what we're going to do or who's going to do it, and look at each other and you kind of wonder if we're really even going to give a program. But there are a lot of good reasons for these monthly programs. It at least gets people to know each other better different people in their businesses, the guys that work together, they get to know each other's families, and just look at each other in a whole lot different light. And then, in the whole process, we hope that we can come up with some good entertainment. But in appreciating local enterprises, this is the theme that we chose, we're considering a pretty broad subject. So, through the course of the evening, we'll have some of the children carrying signs across, naming different businesses, enterprises from our community. And some of the children will be wearing hats, which will represent many of the different occupations. They're supposed to be coming out right now. Up there comes the door opening. But if you miss noticing any particular business we may have forgotten, let us know tonight after the program, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it later on. How many of you really recognize who all these businesses are, who they represent? You'll probably see some names here that you don't even know who they are or what they do. And this is, we want to get a little bit more acquainted with them. So, right now, let's get acquainted with one special business, one of the sponsors of tonight's programs. We'll listen to Philip present a history of the Streamline Automotive.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here tonight and represent Streamline Automotive. In my efforts to put together a history of this business, I had a hard time deciding where to start. Because where does history start? The history of Streamline, I'm sure, started in a good man's heart. A man who wanted to see his children be a success and do something that would build them up. In the spring of 1982, which is going on 10 years ago, a bunch of us boys had just finished a fence job up in Wyoming. Having returned to Salt Lake, we were sitting around the table with our father, myself, Anthus, and several other of our brothers. And he said to us, "What are you going to do with the rest of your life?" Well, that's where Streamline Automotive started out. He turned to Anthus and said, "What do you think about going into collision repair and paint in automotive?" So that spring he enrolled in school in Salt Lake in the mechanic business, and for 2 years learned how cars work inside and out, how to make them tick. After that he graduated with an associate's degree in mechanics, and then he started into the collision repair, fixing crashes and repainting them so you can't even tell it happened. After being in that school for 1 year, he learned the basics. And so he entered the state competition in collision repair and paint. And he took first place in that competition. And so that qualified him to enter the national competition, which was held in Louisville, Kentucky. And so Dad took a trip with him, and they went back there, and he entered the national competition. In that competition, it was quite strenuous. They took a panel to a car, and they took a chisel. It was a nice painted, perfect panel, and they gouged a big hole in it. They said, "Okay, you fix that. You have a certain length of time, and here's the materials." So he went to work with a whole bunch of other people. Well, he took third place in the nation in that competition, which is fantastic. And I well remember hearing about that. and the thought sure went through me. There's a foundation being built for a first-class, first-rate automotive business. Well, he came back and went back to school. Another year later, he graduated with an associate's degree in collision repair. And so he entered the state competition again, having completed the program, and took first place in the state for the second year in a row. And that qualified him to go to the nationals again, which was in Phoenix, and he went and took third place again, which was the bronze medal. Having finished his schooling, he wanted to move home. That's where his heart was, and so he came home and took a job as a mechanic at a local mechanic shop. Worked there for a couple of years. But that definitely wasn't what he had in mind with his schooling and this training that he'd received. So finally, in October of 1987, he and his brother Guy got together and said, "Let's make us a business. We've got this background in collision repair. Let's do it." So they came up with the name of Streamline Automotive and started a business. They had to find a place to work, so they got permission to use Greg Holmes' cinder block shop over there on Johnson Avenue on Richard Street, and began work. They found out real quick that to do that type of work, you got to have everything just right. You got to have the right temperature. You got to keep all the dirt and dust out. And around here, that's a serious problem. You get dust in your paint, and you don't have a good job. So after a time in there, they moved to the Western Canyons building, the Big Tin building out by the highway. But it definitely wasn't fitting the bill. So they started planning for their own building, planned for the needs of the business. And in planning the business with the location out by the highway they'd selected, they thought it would be good to include a vehicle maintenance business also, which certainly turned out to be a boon to the business in more ways than one. In October of 1988, we broke ground for a new building. It was included 3 collision repair bays and 1 lube bay for vehicle maintenance. Found out real quick that it wasn't easy to build a building without any money. You go out and just start doing it. But finally, in the fall of that year, 1988, we was able to procure some funding, which put the building up and put the roof on it, finished the inside. So by the first of the year of 1989, we was ready to go to work in the new building. Then a year later, we was able to get financing and funding to put the lube bay in business. So in January of 1990, we was able to start the vehicle maintenance business. At that time, Guy and Anthus were the only ones working the business, and with the reputation they had, the work came flowing in, and they found out that it was hard to run 2 somewhat separate businesses. So in the fall of 1990, they came to me with the opportunity to take over and operate the vehicle maintenance business, which we call Streamlube, which freed them up to concentrate on their collision repair. And so from then till now, we've been struggling to make it work. We currently employ 4 people. We have 3 professional collision repair people. We have Anthus, of course, and Guy, whom Anthus has trained over the last several years. And recently we've hired Sam Draper, who is a professional paint man, having painted cabinets for a lot of years, and we're real pleased with him. And myself in the lube operation. we found out pretty quick that the vehicle maintenance business was a supplement to the collision repair, because we would repair a car and paint it, and then occasionally that car will come back into the maintenance shop for an oil change and to be cleaned up and taken care of. And at that time, we can look at that car and see how well our paint and our other repairs are holding up, which helps us to know how to do it better. Recently, through the help of a local business, which I'd like to take this opportunity to mention and give special recognition, a new small business starting up, and that is called Computer Advantage. And last year I went to Evan Black, who operates that business, and had him write me a vehicle tracking program for the computer for my vehicle maintenance business. And it allows you to enter in the vehicles and keep accurate record of all the services and the oil changes and whatever we do to the car in there. Today I went and pulled out some statistics for you, and I thought this might be interesting. To date, I have 323 customers in my computer who are my regular customers that come out every 3,000 miles or so to have their vehicle re-oiled and checked out. We check them all out underneath and on top and vacuum them out and see to it that everything's working properly. With those 323 customers, I have 462 vehicles. And here I have a list of the vehicles for your information. I have 108 Chevys, 60 GMCs, 57 Fords, 37 Buicks, 29 Dodges, 23 Oldsmobiles, 22 Toyotas, 21 Pontiacs, 17 Nissans, 16 Plymouths, 15 Hondas, 14 Mazdas, 3 Mercedes, 6 Mercurys, 3 Lincolns, 12 Cadillacs, 2 Isuzus, 2 Hyundais, 1 Daihatsu, 1 BMW, 1 Suzuki, 2 Volkswagens, 1 Mitsubishi, 1 Volvo, 1 Chrysler, and 1 Jeep. So that's a good idea of what we have around here. I figure I've probably got less than 50% of the vehicles that are resident to this community on this computer. And so you can see that we can help. I'd like to take this opportunity to express appreciation to all the people that's helped us do this program, especially appreciation to all the businesses of this community, for we are certainly a team of businesses. And I know that everyone has a story similar to this with their business, where they struggled, they had a dream in their heart, and it became something wonderful to them. And I'm sure there's more to come. There's more history starting out this very day. And so I'd like to express appreciation for that. I'd like to especially express appreciation to Uncle Fred, to Uncle Roy and Uncle Rulon, to the men who have supported and encouraged, given us sound business counsel to keep us going the direction that will please the Lord and keep us in the line of our duty. And so I say, God bless you all, and thank you very much.
Sounds like Philip needed to know some foreign languages to read that list off. And I wonder if one of those languages needed to be Romanian. We'll hear more about that later. One good thing that is a side benefit that I appreciate that's happened out to Streamline is where they've put in that curb and gutter and widened out the highway and put in the blacktop. I think that's to help customers drive in better. We'll see tonight in learning about these businesses that there's two distinct different types of businesses. Like Streamline is a business where we bring our equipment in to be repaired. The other business that we'll be learning about tonight, Keller Country Countertops, they manufacture items and export them out of the community. But it's a bunch of people working together, and it takes all of us in our different businesses, our different occupations, whatever we're doing to make a community. It takes farmers and firemen, school teachers and mechanics, those who do the cooking and those who do the eating. It takes truck drivers and construction people, factory workers, businessmen. It takes all of us. It takes factories, government, school, everyone to make the community. And so in reality, we're talking about people. We're talking about us. Industry is people being busy. People who have to live and they make a living, but we've all got to be true to the things that we believe in. And that introduces the next song by the Keller Country Crew. When they're working out there. Now for the fun of it, let's think how that we could create more dollars out of every dollar that we have. Really, we all do it, one way or one place or another. In fact, some people are able to stretch their dollars farther than some of the other of us. But as we were talking about this program, talking about what we should consider, there was one item of interest that was suggested. It was called the multiplier effect. Some of you kids learn about multiplying at school, but in economics, and I better read this. I went and looked up a lot of thick papers on it. Decided not to bring them. In our economy, there is a continuous circular flow of income and expenditure. One person's spending becomes another person's income, which in turn is spent becomes a third person's income. And what this says is that as many times as a dollar is spent before it's taxed to death or otherwise lost, then it multiplies. So every dollar that we spend at home in our community, it helps to bless us all that much more. Those are things we want to remember in getting acquainted with the local businesses. Well, that's something to be thinking about. Now, for our next number on the program, it's called a melodrama. That's not a watermelon, but it's a melodrama. Now, we've considered several titles for this melodrama. One is printed on your program, So Long, Snivelheart, or you could call it Wait Till the Sun Shines, Nellie, or another title could be How Corny Can You Get? But we think that there's a moral to this story, so try and watch for the moral to the story, and let's enjoy this melodrama.
Hubbard? Mrs. Hubbard? Honestly, the most miserable, inefficient service.
Yes, lady. Can I help you?
We're checking out this positively disgusting excuse of a hotel immediately.
You haven't enjoyed your stay here?
How could we? There was a wolf that kept us up all night long.
Well, I certainly don't think it's our responsibility to keep the wolves on the prairies quiet.
Who said anything about the prairies?
Yeah,
It was in our room. And that mangy thing tried to join me in bed. You needn't show us the way out.
but ladies, you owe me $3.
And you owe us a good night's sleep.
Oh, woe is us. Our last guests have fled, and not a cent in our till. Mother? Oh, Ernestine, has there been any sign?
No, not yet. But can I come in? It's cold outside.
But if you don't keep watch, you might miss your poor dear father. He may need our help as he calls his way back to his home, sweet home,
He's been gone a full 3 months now.
snatched by those wicked gypsies. And now, wicked Simon Snivelheart, the banker, who owns the Ponderosa Past Savings and Loan, is coming tonight to foreclose the mortgage on our hotel.
We've tried to run the Rest in Peace Hotel.
But my 3 daughters and I are failures at this business, with no father to guide us.
But wait, someone comes.
Is it your father?
I fear not. It's Hector Everworth, our hero.
The sound of his name, my heart skips a beat.
And so do your feet.
Hello, Mother Hubbard, Ernestine, and my dear Nellie.
My hero is from the cold.
Tell us, Hector. What news have you, Pa?
I found Paul was taken by a band of gypsies, who first headed south and then headed west, and back south, this time by east, and crossed the Yellowstone, the Rhinestone, the Brownstone, wound their way through the Little Bighorns, the Big Bighorns, blew their horns, and then went north to Alaska.
How did you keep up with them, Hector?
It's just the gypsy in my soul. And I'll continue to chase the kidnappers until Pa Hubbard can walk you down the aisle at our wedding, Nellie.
But Hector, Simon Snivelheart, the banker, is due here tonight at 6 o'clock to foreclose and throw us into the cold.
Ah, Mother Hubbard, I'm glad you brought that rascal up.
I didn't bring him up. His own mother can take the blame for that.
What I mean was, it's good you reminded me he's due here, for I have brought cash that you might forestall before closing.
Cash? But how?
I split wood, fed hogs, baled hay, shingled roofs, filed hooves, felled trees, tended bees, and waxed eloquent.
My hero.
This booty should hold Simon Snivelheart
The banker.
at bay till I return paw to you, and together you can get the shaky rest in peace back on a firm foundation.
But Hector, that might take forever.
Fear not, I am hot on their trail. Pa Hubbard has been leaving a trail of tarot cards behind him.
Fortune-telling cards?
Yes, and look, there's another one.
Then he must have passed through this lobby.
Not more than an hour ago.
How can you tell?
It's still warm.
Excuse me. Have any of you seen a gypsy wagon pass through here about an hour ago? Ah, one of my cards. For this I thank you.
But wait, you're one of them.
And you're, who are you anyway?
I'm Hector Everworth, the hero, out to get the gypsy kidnappers.
Ah, this card says this is one gypsy who's making fast tracks.
Fear not, I shall return with Pa.
Dear sweet Hector, I know you shall. Now we need to find a safe hiding place for the money.
Why, what about inside Chrissy's teddy bear? No one would ever suspect.
A wise choice, Ma, for we can't bear to lose the money.
There we have it, hibernating neatly out of sight.
Oh, Mommy, have you seen my kitty?
Teddy? Why, yes. Here he is. I was just stuffing him up a bit.
But now he's all lumpy.
Oh, I'm sure the lumps will work themselves out soon enough. Yeah, right about 6 o'clock.
Come along, girls, and help me scrounge something for supper.
Oh, do we have to scrounge again?
Well, Bungles. This is the place.
Well, what do you want with this dump, boss? It ain't no Park Avenue spa.
It's not the hotel I'm after. It's what's under the hotel.
Well, what do you want with the basement, boss?
I don't want a basement, you lame brain. The Rest in Peace Hotel just happens to sit over one of the richest gold mines in the world.
How do you know about this here mine, boss?
In going over bank records, I came across this map.
Looks like Greek to me, boss.
It's upside down.
Still looks like Greek to me.
Can't you tell Romanian when you see it? The mine was discovered by a Romanian shepherd named Vladimir Rosen Skrenchovic.
Sure glad they didn't name the town after him, boss.
Why should they? Poor Vladimir was scalped before he could take out any gold. Shortly after, this hotel was built and fell into the hands of Pa Hubbard, who in turn fell into the hands of the gypsies, who I paid $3 for kidnapping services.
You had Pa Hubbard kidnapped, boss?
Precisely. In that way, I knew the hotel would fall into ruin. And then into my hands because I hold the mortgage, which comes due at exactly 6 o'clock tonight. And once I've got the gold, I'll get the daughter Nellie. Gee, boss, your plot's pretty thick. Not as thick as your head. Now, did you bring the papers? Papers? Yeah, boss, right here. Bungles. These are not the mortgage papers.
You sure, boss?
These are my memoirs. See for yourself.
Yeah, well. You did that, boss?
Go fetch the right papers immediately. I can't foreclose without them. And now, to find the entrance to the mine.
Oh, Teddy, you're lumping in all the wrong spots. I guess I'm just going to have to operate. There now, you got a belly to match your muscles.
Ah, little girl. Is the lady of the house in?
Oh, you're wicked Simon Snillhart, the banker.
How could you tell? My forceful, self-assured posture? Or my elegant dress? Or possibly my well-waxed handlebar?
No, it's your lecherous flair.
Why, they've warped your mind against me. Go fetch your mother that we might conclude our business.
You're about to throw us into the cold. Mommy, the rat is here.
And now, for the foreclosing.
Here's the right papers, boss.
You brought the right ones this time.
Sure enough, boss. But hey, ain't you getting a little sloppy?
Whatever do you mean? I'm meticulous.
Gee, boss, what's meticulous?
You ingrate. That means I'm very neat.
Then how come you're leaving your money lying around?
What? Holy bank vaults! That isn't my money! But it's a welcomed addition. I shall line my pockets with this capital treasure. Yes.
Can I line my pockets too, boss?
Well, here's a penny. I understand copper insulates very well.
Snivelheart. Pleasure to see you.
The woman's berserk. Well, Mother Hubbard, and your desirable daughters, I don't think we ought to mince words. Can you meet my demands?
Oh, you're a heartless Shylock. But yes, I've enough for the back payments.
No, she can't. Unless... Well, then let's settle our accounts.
Be sure and get a receipt, Ma, so he can't cheat us any further.
Cheat you? Nothing could be further from my heart.
Chrissy, bring Mommy your teddy bear.
Oh, Mommy, he's sleeping until wake him up.
Oh, this won't bother him a bit. Wait, it's gone. Where is it? Where's the cash we hid in its tattered lining?
Some dark clouds have even darker linings.
Snivelheart, the banker, you must have taken it.
Me? Debtors must not accuse their kindly creditors.
You must have. You villainous stuffing snatcher. Hand us over the money or a receipt.
I tell you, I never saw a cent. Upon my honor.
That's dangerous, thin and cold.
Well, then, let me present you with a respectable witness. Who, me? Did you see any money over there?
Well, boss and I was over there. No, I surely did not, boss. I didn't see one of them bills.
You're lying. You took the payment.
And you can prove nothing.
That's legal larceny, Simon Snivelheart, villainous banker.
Oh, woe is us.
That's right. Pack your things and prepare to get off my property. For now, the Rest in Peace Hotel belongs to Simon Snivelheart.
Is there nothing we can do to make you change your mind?
Well, you could marry back into the hotel.
What? What do you mean?
I will soften, should you allow me to woo your delectable daughter Nellie.
Oh, woe is me.
You can hardly woo her when you woe her.
Then prepare for the worst.
Oh, my daughters. First your father disappearing, then our business falling into ruin. And now this villain is throwing us into the cold. I fear we're doomed.
Oh, what will become of us?
Worry not, for in the generosity of my heart, I shall return in 1 hour to fetch you and your belongings, and I shall personally drive you up to the gates of the poorhouse. And dress warm. I understand the floors there are very cold.
Packing your things, girls.
Yes, Ma. What do you think we have her in our suitcase?
Prissy,
Yes, Mommy?
any sign of that wretch Simon Snivelheart?
The banker.
Not hide my rotten hair, Ma.
Well, girls, straighten up the lobby. We must leave it neat and tidy.
Cleanliness is next to goodness.
And Snivelheart needs all the help he can get.
Wait, what's this? I have good news.
What?
I found the treasure map showing a gold mine beneath our hotel.
That's just the paper Prissy used for stuffing Teddy with. Let me see that. Looks like Greek to me.
Can you tell Romanian when you see it, Ernestine?
Hold on. How do you know it's a gold mine if it's in Romanian?
I speak fluent Romanian. A heroine's got to be good for something.
So that's why Simon Snivelheart, the banker, wants this place so bad. We can't let him have it then.
But what can we do?
Why, we'll just have to stand our ground like Grandpappy Angus Fairbone did.
Who's he?
your most illustrious descendant, noted for his bravery at the Battle of the Cactus Stickers. Come along. It started out when Angus and his pretty bride, Eulalie, had their wagon break down somewhere between buzzard's breath and dysentery.
Well, Bungles, you stick with me, and soon this will all be mine. Right, boss. Did you bring the box? Gosh, boss, I must have left it outside. Bungles, I wouldn't have told you to bring the box unless I wanted it. Now go fetch the box. I need that box in case the Hubbards intend to give me any trouble. But it appears they intend to comply. For lo, the suitcases stand ready.
I'm afraid there's going to be no traveling for the Hubbard Simon Snivelheart, the banker.
No, the hero. Well, the irrepressible Hector Everworth.
I've come to throw you out of the hotel for good.
But wait, this hotel now belongs to yours truly.
What? You were paid.
I never saw a cent.
But I left them with enough money for the payments.
They spend it frivolously. Foolish female.
Say no such thing. I don't believe you, you wretch! You've done something dastardly here. But never fear. I located the gypsy camp and managed to break the lock on the wagon that held Pa Hubbard. So we'll get to the bottom of this very soon.
And some of us sooner than others. Now let's get this goon tied up where he can do no harm. I was right to anticipate trouble.
Right, he found Pa Hubbard.
And I'm sure the idiot's hightailing it back here, so we'd better work fast. And now bring me the box.
What's so important about this here box, boss?
It's a little going away present for the Hubbards.
A present for the Hubbard? Now that is an awful nice thing to do, boss. Are you sick or something?
No, I'm not.
Then how come a present? What is it anyway? Can I see it? Can I?
Bungles, you're drooling on me.
Sorry, boss.
is sure to get a rise out of them. Ah, a new teddy bear. Yeah, with a little extra punch. Do you hear? It's ticking. That's right. It's got a heart. That's going to burst at precisely 7:30.
What do you mean, boss?
Our friend Teddy here has a little TNT where his tummy ought to be.
Wow, boss, you're still mean and wretched. Had me scared there for a minute.
Snivelheart, you no good wretch. There's been a change of plans.
Bungles! A gun! I fear we're trapped.
We intend to stand our ground, villain. We know about the gold mine beneath our feet.
And you're not getting so much as a glint of that glitter.
I've been foiled. I fear we must retreat into the cold.
Not till you sign us a receipt that you got your money.
You ladies drive a hard bargain.
Sign it, or I'll pull the trigger.
Pull it, Ma, pull it.
No! No! I'll sign anything. But before I do, allow me to give Prissy a little goodbye present.
A present for me?
You'll get a bang out of it.
He looks like you.
Why, thank you.
A stuffed toad. I don't like it.
Boss! Boss! Let me just sign you a receipt, Mother Hubbard, and Bungles and I will be on our way.
Write it nice and big so we can read it.
Does this meet your approval?
Be it known that I, Simon Snivelheart, the banker, have been paid in full.
Sounds legal to me.
Now you take your assistant there and get into the cold. It's nearly 7:30 and we got things to do.
Did you say 7:30?
7:29 to be exact.
It's been a pleasure, Mother Hubbard. Now perhaps Nellie could show us the door.
It's a large piece of wood with the knob in the center, over there.
Oh, my plum! I'm offering you a chance to escape.
Escape what?
The miseries of this hovel.
Better this hovel than a palace with you.
Then have it your way, and happy landings.
Wait for me, boss!
He's certainly changed his tune.
Yeah, went from sharp to flat, but his melody leaves me cold.
Look, Hector's tied up. Looks like Snivelheart's cold calculated villainy.
I must hurry, for I thought I heard something about a bomb set for 7:30
But Hector, where are you going?
to snatch the villains in their tracks.
A bomb? Oh no! Woe is us, 'tis 7:30.
Hit the deck!
Are we dead? I don't see any pearly gates, and none of you sprouted any wings.
Ma, look, the tarot card.
And another! And another! Here's one.
Hello, family.
Pa, what have they done to you?
Nothing, Ma. Just me home from captivity, in disguise to full of gypsies, and just in time to save the hotel. Luckily, I managed to take the sabotaged teddy bear out into Simon Snivelheart, the banker's wagon.
Quick thinking, Pa Hubbard. Your hotel is safe and the villains are caught.
You and your Teddy just bombed out. Hush up.
Ah, there he is. Yeah, we got him now.
No, I'd rather die than go back with you.
Not you, him. He owes us $3 for kidnapping you.
So I was a little short of cash that day.
And now you're just gonna be a little short.
Hey, boss, what about all my paychecks?
Well, there's an end to Snivelheart and the beginning of eternal joy for Nellie and me as we depart into the sunshine.
And Pa, as soon as you fix that roof, we'll all be back to the blissful days of rest and peace.
Well, the moral to that story might be sometimes the gold or fortune that we seek is in our own basement or in our own community. So let's support our local community, our local industries. Now, Bob Barlow will present a history of the Keller Country countertop business.
Several years ago, I was building houses out on the Indian reservation, and out there would supply all phases of the jobs. We would do the concrete, we'd do the flooring, we would do the cabinets, countertops, and paint, and all phases of it. The nearest countertop and cabinet shops that could take care of our needs and supply us were in Salt Lake City. And so each week we'd take a truck and a driver and we'd send them to Salt Lake and back, and it was a 12-hour drive just one way into Salt Lake. And that got real old real fast. And we found out that we was building the houses faster than we could get the manufacturers to take care of our needs. And so we got thinking about trying to supply our own cabinets, and in a short time we discovered that with the countertops, by the time we'd freight them down, they were hard to carry and hard to freight, and they would break sometimes. And when we freighted them back and took them back down, they would cost us more than the countertops were even worth. So about 6 years ago, in the spring of 1985, we decided to build a top shop. We got together with Tony Barlow and Ron Darger and two of his sons, David and Lauren, and we looked at the cost, the opportunities, and decided to go ahead with it. A little later, about the 1st of June, we sent Tony and Lauren and David into Salt Lake to visit some of the countertop shops up there and work with them for a few weeks to learn the trade and learn the business. At that point, we bought an obsolete saw and started business in in the old sheetrock shed behind Ron Darger's. It was about a month after this that Marion Young came to work for us as our shop foreman. When we originally started, we'd buy blanks, which was the laminate and the particle board in long lengths from out of Salt Lake and out of Orem and several places. We'd bring them, we'd cut the angles, and we'd cut to the sizes for the individual kitchens, and then we'd put edges on them so it fit each order that we needed. And we went to work like that, and it wasn't long until we were supplying the reservation with the tops that we need, and started supplying a lot of southern Utah with their tops. It was about a year, and we decided that we couldn't keep buying these blanks, and so we bought a post former. What the post former does is it takes the particle board and then the plastic and laminate, and they glue them together, and it runs it through a pinch roller, and then it bends them so we have the shape that we need. And so we added on to the building and bought this post former and started doing the full realm of building the countertops. And it wasn't long that we needed more room, so we added on a couple more times, and we covered up most of Ron Darger's backyard. And we still needed room, and so we stored most of our materials, the wood and things, in the old sheetrock shed behind the old shed behind the cabinet shop. The Color Country Countertops is divided into two departments. We refer to Color Country as the top shop. It's divided into two departments, the blank department and the finish department. The blank department does what I just told you. It molds the countertops, and it prepares the wood and the plastic. And then the finish department cuts it, prepares it, puts all the finishing touches on it, and makes it ready to be installed for the customers. Color Country currently has 9 people working for them. 6 of them are full-time and 3 of them are part-time. Marion Young is our salesman and business manager. Lauren Darger is our shop foreman. Marvin Darger and Ronald Jessup run the blank department. Verlin Young, Marshall Barlow, Clayne Darger, and Roger Darger do the finish, and Melody Young does the most important job of all. She prints the paychecks, and she also does the bookkeeping. We currently manufacture approximately 350 tops per week. That maybe doesn't sound like a lot, but it's about 70 a day and about 9 per hour. So about every 6 minutes we completely run a top through, from the raw wood, shaping, gluing the laminate, cutting it to sizes, and send it out. For that little shop, it's quite a lot. Right now we're incorporating under the name of iTech Manufacturing, and we're expanding our product line to include some special trims, special edgings, laminate on walls. We've got some special shapes, round edges, and they call a Texas coal, which goes clear up the back of the wall between the cabinets. We're including Corian with our product, trying to expand it and cover a bigger market. We do about $500,000, just under $500,000 gross sales each year, and we're growing right now still. We've shipped jobs as far north as Alaska, and we've got some jobs right down on the old Mexico border, and in most of the western United States have our product. We're now looking forward to an industrial lot in the Colorado City industrial lot, so we can build a larger building where our supplies can be and the manufacturing can be together in one building. And we hope this will make it so that we can become more efficient, and the productivity can rise, and that we can take care of our customers better. We want everyone to feel welcome to come by and say hello to the gang down there and have a look around, and let us tell you and show you what we do.
did kind of fill our backyard, and we are growing out. One thing we're glad of is for some understanding neighbors down there. And I understand that a week ago, Lauren and Marion went to California to investigate a different glue, a different system of glue. And so, if it works out how we want, where the exhaust fan blows out of the side of the shop, hopefully that we won't kill off any more apple trees out in Dan's orchard. But it is good to have understanding neighbors. Next on the program, well, we've been calling it the Streamline Quartet, but at least it's the quartet from Streamline Automotive.
Sit back and listen to reminiscing as we harmonize a song or two. You might recall one after we haul one out of our songbook just for you. We're glad to meet you, we're glad to greet you, 'cause it's great to be here once again. So here we go now, on with the show now, as we sing about the days back when. It was merry, merry, plain as any game can be, for there is something there that sounds so square. It's a grand old merry Oldsmobile. Come away with me, Lucille. Down the road of life we'll fly, auto bubbling, you and I.
Every day is ladies' day with me.
Every day is ladies' day with
I'm quite at their disposal all the while. So down Lover's Lane we'll wander, sweethearts once again. So here we go now, on with the show now, and we hope you like the songs back then. The songs from the days back when.
Well, these guys were so good at the practices, we told them that they'd better learn something extra to sing because we was going to clap them back on the stage. Come on, guys.
Ron warned us about this, so we decided to do one from way back when, but we was a little concerned about this one because we was afraid we were going to throw Wendell into his second childhood. Hit all of it.
I haven't got it. That's not right.
We really didn't practice this very much.
Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Lo-do-de-o, rubber ducky, joy of joys. When I squeeze you, you make noise. Rubber ducky, you're my very best friend, it's true. Oh, every day when I make my way to the tubby, I find a little fella who's cute and yellow and chubby. Rub-a-dub-dubby, rubber ducky, you're so fine, and I'm lucky that you're mine. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of. Rubber ducky, I like a whole pond of. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you.
Thank you. This has been a good crew to work with. Now, in connection with supporting our local enterprises, we want to play another game. We've been working with the Twin City Business Association, putting this together. Now, remember, a few minutes ago, Bob Barlow invited anyone that wants to stop by Keller Country Countertop Shop and see what they do there, how they do. Look through their business and let them tell you about it. So what we want to do is get a few more of the businesses together, and we've already contacted some, and early next month we'll have a list prepared. And everybody that wants to play with us can find out the details. Come and get one of these lists and go around and visit those businesses. Talk to them, get acquainted, get somebody there to sign the line and prove that you've been there. And those people that want to come and get acquainted, then we've got a free dinner for them after this little game's over. It's not a contest, it's not a drawing. Don't have to buy anything, just come get acquainted. And we think there'll even be a few gifts left over for the people that want to participate. So we're going to call it the Be Appreciative game. So it's like they say over the radio or somewhere, watch for the details. They'll be announced later. Now, there's one more item before our closing number. We were all going to try and wear a hat out here, and I should have had this hat on all along. Now I can see who's in the audience. You can't hardly see anybody from up here otherwise. But the slogan on this hat says Super Dad. It could also say Super Mom or Super Children. So we got some of the best children around. Could also say super citizen. Economics are important. Economics are essential. But they're only a part of the greater picture. So we want to remember that it's important to be super citizens of the kingdom of God in all the things that we do. So with these things in mind, we've got to remember that we do have a lot of things to do. We're going to go ahead now with the closing song, closing prayer. Unless someone else has some further announcements, then we'll say good night and thank you for coming.
Ere the sun goes
thank you at this time for the entertainment we've enjoyed. We thank you for the grand opportunity that we have of living under the direction of your priesthood. We're thankful for our dear prophet, for his faithful followers and teachers that teach us. Please help us as a group of people to carry on and do as we've been instructed to do, so we can go down the road together. Lord, I pray for your special blessings to be upon us as we return to our homes. Bless us to keep your spirit with us always. All these things we do, thank you and pray for. You do it in the name of Jesus